Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Um, this might look familiar to you. Probably should. Just another American Bosch multi-fuel injector pump. Um, this actually is a United Technologies governor housing on an American Bosch advanced unit with an AMBAC hydraulic head. Overhauled at Tooele in 1989. This is probably going to be the last multi-fuel injector pump video I make. I know people are always asking for them, and I've made videos, and I don't know if people just can't find them or if they don't explain things well enough. So I'm going to show you right here how to pull the hydraulic head off of the pump on a bench one more time. I've already got the timing marks set where they need to be, and I've already got all the hold down nuts broken loose. I've got the shut off cover off, which I inconveniently tore the gasket on. I've never done that before, but of course now. So let me show you the marks as they should be for removal. And the little handy little Harbor Freight bullshit light is actually pretty decent. Okay, so what you want your mark in there, right about there, where you can just see the mark on the advance wheel in the window. You do not need to line it up with the pointer in there. Just right there where you can barely start to see it, okay? There's two positions where that will be like that. One position will show you the mark in here that you need to line up, and one position, one revolution won't. So you can only do this one way, okay? At least this part. Now you can install the hydraulic at 180 degrees out and the truck will run like dog shit. Now if you look in here, see that red mark tooth? So we're real close to where we need to be because it needs to line up with that pointer that's cast in the housing right there, okay? And actually it may come off right here. So a lot of times they like to be slightly offset, a half a tooth like this. Some of them you have to have the mark directly aligned. Every pump is a little bit different, okay? That's, you're mass producing things and you're cutting gears and this, that, and the other. And there's a shitload of gears in this pump that drive each other. So things aren't always the same, we'll say that. So we've got that mark. You see where it needs to be in there. And I'll reiterate this like I do every time I make one of these videos. The timing mark on the balancer does not make a difference to any of this. Ignore the balancer entirely when you're doing this. Unless you are replacing your hydraulic head with a new unit, you don't need to worry about where the motor is at, as long as you get that mark lined up and that mark lined up, or that mark visible and this mark lined up. Your head will come off, your new head will go on. Or take this head off, replace the O-rings, put the head back on. That's all. This mark does not need to be aligned with the pointer. This mark does. Okay? So, let's go ahead and take this stuff off right quick. And you're just going to destroy this because you can't reuse safety wire, okay? At least not safely. It's not good practice to even attempt to reuse safety wire. Usually it just breaks. So, safety wire is not expensive, not hard to find. In fact, a roll of this, they call it mechanics wire, 89 cents at Harbor Freight. And I've got safety wire pliers. I strongly suggest you do not buy yours from Harbor Freight because they are garbage. Find some that are actually decent quality. You're probably going to pay 30-40 bucks for a pair, but use them one time and they pay for themselves. And with a military truck, you're going to use them more than one time, believe me. So we've got that safety wire off. Now we have to remove this Jesus clip. Let's see if this might help. Oh yeah, look at that. A little bit of lighting. Hey, I'm learning how to make a video. All right, let's take this off. Okay, and this is one of the most important things not to lose. Okay, so put it somewhere, preferably in a small magnetic tray. All of my magnetic trays are in use at the moment. on the come and swap project and other stuff. So I'm on a gigantic freaking trade that's not going anywhere. So now we've got that off, and we're gonna pull our bridge plate off. That's what I call this. I don't know what the proper name for it is. Okay, I gotta put you in the holder. Alright. So we're gonna, you know what? Can I get you any closer in on that action there? Yeah, look at there. The other injection pump in the background. I'm not pump poor here. Okay. So break that loose carefully. Don't strip these out, because yeah, you don't want to have to get replacements. Not that you can't, it's just having to get replacement parts is a pain in the ass. So I was supposed to have had this pump done for somebody else and ready to ship, but you know, shit doesn't work out. I forgot things and had to do other things, and you know how it goes. So now you got to slide this out, and as you can see, it's firmly stuck. Usually they just come right out. When they're even the slightest bit sticky like that, that means it's dirty and it needs to come apart and be cleaned. So you can already start to see all the built up shit on there. That's a problem. So yummy goodness. That's nasty. Let's see if this even, yeah, it does rotate, but it's quite sticky. So that would cause a not, wow, holy fuck, I've never seen that happen before. Wow, good job, Tooele Army Depot. You just saw that with your own eyes. You just watched that happen. It's a good thing I got an extra. Wow, dude, holy shit. Okay, so that's gonna get replaced. Now you take this small O-ring out here. A lot of times this will stay on your fuel control shaft and lever, okay? So you need to make sure that you either get this out of there or off the lever. Your hydraulic head O-ring set will be a set of 3 O-rings. You've got a large one, a medium one, and a very small one. The very small one is what goes right here. So you don't want to double up that O-ring, because your fuel lever will stick, it won't move, and you'll end up with a leak and your engine will run away and blow up or something stupid. Just pay attention. Moral of the story, I guess. Now, I told you I've already got these nuts broken loose. These are just 1/2 inch. And I can take them off here with a 1/4 inch ratchet. Someday I'm going to run an airline over here to my bench, or move this bench somewhere else, in fact. My air hose will reach over here, but it's just a pain to get it across the shop and around the end of the bench, and it knocks all my shit over, and I trip over it when I walk around. So. Now look, I'll tell you this right now while it's on my mind, okay? These little metal things up top. The only reason these are here is for the boots on your injection lines to have something to grab onto. So if you get a hydraulic head or a pump that's missing some of these, or they're bent like this one is, you can just take them out, grab them with a pair of pliers and pull them out. All they really do is hold water, especially with the boot on there. If the boot is a little rotten, you get water in there and then it can't evaporate and get out, and it rusts the hell out of everything, rusts the line. So usually if boots are rotten on one, I'll just tear the boots off and then it doesn't really matter if you keep these or take them off. So you can put new boots on them, but you basically have got to take the ferrule off of one end and slide the boot on, and replacing the ferrule on one of these injection lines is not easy. I've done it, but it can be done. So I'm going to get off on a tangent and forget what I'm doing. Now, this pump has never been into since it was overhauled. It's still got the lead seals on the main fuel cover and the FDC fuel cover, and got the safety wire on the back cover and everything. So yeah, I cannot believe that happened. That's a first. Anyway, I guess I'll get over it. Now you want to take these retainers off. Sometimes they're a little sticky. A little bit of tapping or whatnot will usually free them up. Yeah, a little bit of grease or dirt down in there. It's a stepped retainer, as you see, and the step goes in towards the hydraulic head here. And usually they're almost always a little bit off center, and the step there is a little bigger, which is why you see I was able to get the screwdriver in there and kind of work it up off of there. So on this side, it's just barely not enough, but with a little smaller screwdriver, ta-da. Okay, now this is something I've shown before, but I will show it again. God damn it. This retainer always hits that damn delivery valve cover, and it will not come off unless you've already got all the others off and you're in fact lifting up and turning the hydraulic head or wiggling it. You don't want to turn the hydraulic head, okay, because then you'll mess up the gear alignment. But if you just wiggle it a little bit, you can get that past it. So let me turn this back where I can work on it, and we'll get the other retainers up off of here. Ooh, that one's back this way. Now, let me explain something else while I'm here, okay? Since this is hopefully the last video I'm going to make on multi-fuel injection pumps. This here is your boost pump assembly. Fuel comes in on the left side at 4 to 7 psi supplied by the in-tank electric pump. This pump, depending on the model of injection pump you have, will boost the fuel pressure from that 4 to 7 psi up to anywhere from 30 to 80 pounds of pressure. Somewhere around 30 or 40 for the LDT injection pumps, and up to 80 psi for the LDS pumps. That's if the LDS pump was rebuilt and they actually used the proper boost pump on it, because they are interchangeable. But the lower boost pressure you see, the lower horsepower output you're going to get. And that's because the boost pressure here is what fills the fuel cavity in the hydraulic head and feeds the spill port and all that shit. So with higher pressure you get more fuel in per stroke. Anyway, that's all. Yeah, you get the idea, I think. Let's see if this will lift off. Yep. See, that came right off. Ah, and look at there. The button had fallen off. So it's a good thing we decided to, well, overall, it's a good thing we decided to take this whole thing apart and service it instead of just selling it as is as a used pump, right? That would have been a very, very disappointed purchaser. and would not have been good for my reputation. I find overall that if you actually care about your reputation, you care about what you do for people, and you put out a better product and standard of work. You know, generally speaking, I don't give a shit what people think of me, unless it's my work. Then I care. But you don't have to like me. A lot of people don't like me, and that's fine. I don't like a lot of other people either. You know, it's something you learn as you get older, if you haven't already, is that you don't all have to think alike to get along. Just as long as you don't try to force other people to do things the way you want, you can get along. Okay. A little bit of brake cleaner and a rag just to wipe the remnants of stuff out of there. Now, the button and retainer is just laying down there, so it actually probably fell off when I was turning this pump over to get the marks lined up, because that's what happens when you get buildup on the plunger and stuff like that, and it gets sticky in there. So I'm going to pick up magnet on the screwdriver to get it out, and as you can see here, none of the fingers are broken off. They're not bent. The plunger is not bent up or dinged. So this didn't fall off when it was running. This fell off just as I was turning it over. And once again, not because of metal fatigue on the retainer that broke a tooth off. It just is because it was sticky. And I still haven't figured out how it does that, how it knocks it off, but it does. So, I mean, you just saw it for yourself. All right, so really that's what I wanted to show you. Putting this back together is exactly the opposite of tearing it down. Now I still have got to tear this hydraulic head completely down and pull this spill port plate out and the plunger, and I've got to clean this whole hydraulic head out. That's going to take quite a while, and this video is already almost 20 minutes long, so I'm not really inclined to keep the video going that long, especially as I've already missed one or two phone calls while making this video. So it's I don't know, what else do I want to cover while I'm here real quick? Be careful not to tear your shut-off cover gasket. Your O-rings should they should be obvious. You know, the medium O-ring goes right here, the large O-ring goes right here, and I've already showed you where the small one goes. So usually when you stick them on the head, they will stay on there just from the size. They won't fall off. But if they do, because O-ring sizes vary a little bit, especially depending on the temperature, what it is in your shop and all, and the manufacturer of the O-rings. You can use a little bit of red grease. Just put a tiny bit on the O-ring to keep it stuck on there while you put it back in. So, a couple of helpful tips. Also, another thing, if you're doing this and you have the time or the inclination, good idea to replace your oil lines on the bottom of the pump too. Be ashamed to do a bunch of work to one and have an oil line that's 30 years old blow and your motor locks up, right? So just guys, let me know if there's anything else, anything I haven't covered either in this video or the ones before. Any questions you may have, go ahead and post them in the comments. I will still answer your questions. I don't mind. That's what I do this for, so I can help you guys, right? Otherwise I wouldn't make these videos. I can do this a lot faster if I just do it than I can if I'm making a video while I'm doing it. So I don't mind, and I appreciate you guys watching and subscribing and all. And you know, I have to tell you, just like always, our parts and all are all from our sponsors at BigMike'sMotorPool.com, and he does carry all of these parts, the little handles here, and he probably even carries the whole fuel lever assembly. I think he does. He carries the O-ring kits. He carries the replacement buttons and the retainers and all, and a lot of this stuff he has in stock. So if you need it, you can call him up and he'll ship it right out to you. So yeah, that's about it. If you're doing this, also good idea to replace the boost pump seal, because that's where you develop a lot of pressure. If the O-rings are leaking, the boost pump seal is probably going to be leaking too. So it's another source of getting fuel into the engine oil that you don't want. Big Mike's also has those. So may not be listed on his website. You may have to call him up, but he's always willing to get what you need and help you guys out. So also, if you're going to paint your pump, paint from rapcoparts.com, guys. Don't forget them. That is actually exactly the same paint that is on the pumps right now. These were painted with an alkyd paint, and that's what an alkyd industrial coating, and that's exactly what Rapco is. So anyway, thanks for watching, dudes. Like and subscribe, share, all that cool stuff, and we appreciate you. We'll see you later.